When it comes to current news, I don't think there's been a week yet this year where Gypsy Rose hasn't made headlines. I've gotta wonder though, is this all by chance because of our perverse need for information? Or is it all calculated and planned out by Gypsy herself in a very scheming way of staying in the spotlight and receiving the attention she's become accustomed to? What do you think, folks? Let me know in the comments, and let's discuss some not so happy-go-lucky facts together. She accused her grandfather of mauling her. Look, sorry folks, I can't use the other M word, bear with me here, read between the lines. So, going back in time after Dee Dee divorced Gypsy's dad, Rod, the mother and daughter moved in with Dee Dee's dad, Claude, and stepmom Laura. And a quote from Gypsy claims that when she was living with them, things changed in her life forever. She was being physically harmed in a lewd manner. And how would this happen? Well, her grandfather would take her out of her wheelchair, bring her into a closet or the shack that was behind the house, and perform coitus-related acts on her. A direct quote says, "He would make me touch him. He would touch me. At that age, I don't think that I knew it was wrong. But then my grandfather told me not to tell anybody. I didn't want to get him in trouble." So while she was in prison, apparently she told her stepmother, Christy, about the harm, but it's been hard for her to open up about it. Apparently it wasn't something she wanted to come forward with because she just wasn't ready for everything that came with it. But she felt like at this point in time, releasing all of that would be very therapeutic for her. So in the documentary that came out earlier this year, producers did confront Claude about it, and he denied the accusation. His response was, "No, I never, that's the first I heard of it. We would play together and do stuff together and stuff like that." So when asked why Gypsy would say something that isn't true, he was like, I don't know, baby. She would try to touch me. I said, no, don't do that. She apparently was the one trying to touch him, and he said no. Apparently she started that when she was young, and he would often say just no. Dee Dee's brother, Evan, suggested that Dee Dee might have planted this idea in Gypsy's head. Gypsy says, there is no part of me that questions if this happened or not. This 100% happened, and he could take it to the grave if he wants to, but the one person that is not going to visit him at his grave is me. Apparently she tried telling Dee Dee about it, and Dee Dee got emotional, started blaming herself, so Gypsy clammed up. What do you think, folks? Truth or manipulation? Let me know in the comments and let's keep going. Here's a doozy. Gypsy fired at her mother with a BB weapon. So after she ran away, her mom bought a weapon, which according to Gypsy, scared the ever-living F out of her, since it made her afraid her mom was gonna end her life. At one point, Gypsy wanted to run away again, packed a bag, but Dee Dee found the bag and realized what was going on. And the weapon was sitting out on the table. All of a sudden, Gypsy grabbed it, threatened Dee Dee, and to quote Gypsy, "Before I knew it, I pulled the trigger as many times as I could." She said that at the time, she just couldn't believe what she had done. A couple of rounds did indeed hit Dee Dee, causing superficial wounds, and that's when Gypsy realized that it was a BB weapon, not a killing weapon per se. At the time, it made her feel relieved because she didn't intend to end the life of her mother, but she was shocked that she even did the act in the first place. Now, when producers told this story to Gypsy's stepmother in the documentary that came out earlier this year, which I'm going to reference a lot today, Christy, who hadn't previously heard about it, was like, good for her. So what did Dee Dee do? She invented a cover story for the wound at the time, saying she was approached by a man asking for her wallet in the parking lot of a Walmart, who then fired at her when she didn't hand it over. Smooth. Real smooth. This probably was assumed by many, but Gypsy did confirm that she has a history of being addicted to pain pills. So when she was still alive, Dee Dee set up an appointment for Gypsy with an ear, nose, and throat specialist, claiming that her daughter had excessive drooling, which is a common issue in those who have cerebral palsy. So before the doctor's appointment, how do we get Gypsy to drool? Dee Dee put Aura gel in Gypsy's mouth so that it would numb her and, well, da-da-da-da-da. As a result, Gypsy had her salivary glands removed, and then she lost some teeth, and then she got addicted to pain pills because of, well, a lot of surgery. She mentioned that the doctors had prescribed her pain medication after the surgeries, but when the medication ran out, she was still in pain, and her mom had a prescription for Vicodin. So when she wasn't looking, Gypsy would just steal a couple. Her tolerance built up to the point where she was taking more and more, and then her mother started to get suspicious, but Gypsy lied to her and said, "Nope, I'm not doing anything, nothing's going on." Gypsy admits she was floating very high in the sky at the time of her mom's death, by the way. Now, this addiction also followed Gypsy to prison. Apparently, she took a couple of puffs for her first year behind bars. She started with vaping, and then it just sort of snowballed from there. She also took Suboxone, which is apparently a medicine that is used to treat dependence on opioids, and apparently it got to the point where she owed a fellow prisoner $50 for the substance and lied to her stepmom to get the money. Tisk tisk. Alright, I think this shocked me the most. Gypsy actually made a video for her mom's killer, showing him how to kill her mom. And it's very step by step. It starts with Gypsy showing how to get to Dee Dee's bedroom once the guy arrives at the house. She claims she made the walkthrough of what the house layout looked like and what her mom's bedroom looked like because, well, He's gonna be walking into the room in the dark. He needs to know. How considerate. In the video, once Gypsy arrives at Dee Dee's bed, she can be seen making impaling motions to show what the end result was that she wanted. Look, if the next video leaked as an S-tape, I ain't watching that. I don't need any more details about this girl's life. Just when I thought nothing could surprise me anymore about Dee Dee, apparently she tried to put a voodoo hex on Gypsy? Yeah, I know. So, way back when Gypsy was trying to run away, at one point she met a man named Dan at a pop culture convention in Missouri, and she ran away to his house. That's where Dee Dee found her, convinced her to come home, but she was like, look, I'll let you still see Dan, just come home. So, what happens when they get home? That's a lie, go figure. Dee Dee chained Gypsy to the bed for like 2 weeks with handcuffs and a dog leash, and she became physically harmful, harming her daughter with her hands or items like coat hangers when the hands just weren't enough. And this is where the hex comes in. So, Dee Dee bought a mason jar, and inside of it, she put pictures of Dan, Gypsy, a cow's tongue, and a little bit of Gypsy's menstrual redness. She buried it in the backyard and told Gypsy, "You will never find love. You will never be happy." Gypsy believed her mom, and has feelings to this day that her mom was right. And I'm starting to think so too. Some experts online have hypothesized that it looks like Gypsy might need jaw surgery after everything she's been through. It's a shame her mother never took her to like an oral surgeon when she was younger, since at least that surgery would have been actually legit. Like her tooth decay is likely from a combination of medical harm and too much sugar, but also from being misaligned. You can kind of see it in her face. Poor thing. Alright, so there's been some speculation fluttering around the internet about her now ex-husband's past. From what I've gathered, and I did a bit of hunting, he made a bet with a friend. The friend wrote a letter to Tiger King, and Ryan wrote fan mail to Gypsy. He had watched Mommy Dead and Dearest, the documentary about Gypsy, and he just thought she was so cute. Alrighty. Apparently, and this is where all the speculation came in, he lost his job as a special education teacher because he was involved with Gypsy. But it wasn't necessarily because of like the relationship and the act itself. It was because he wouldn't stop talking about her to his students, even after being warned. It was like, hey, we get it. That's what you got going on in your personal life. Keep it at home. Students' parents were getting really concerned, and I can see why. So, this was some news that came out this week. Gypsy was seen getting matching tattoos with her former fiancé, just days after it was announced she was splitting up with Ryan. So Ken was engaged to Gypsy back in 2018 before they separated while she was still behind bars, and he was by her side at a tattoo parlor just this past Monday, as the pair allegedly got matching images of huskies on their arms. This is according to TMZ. His mom, Raina, told People on Tuesday that the pair are they're not back together. Her son is just helping her through the divorce. They're very cool. He's just being like a supportive friend, and that's it. I don't know about you folks, but I'm getting a red flag here for manipulative behavior, or just a red flag in general. I get being friends with your exes, but matching tattoos this soon? Okay, how about this then? She had cold feet before getting married to Ryan. And guess what she did during that period? She reached out to Ken. To quote Gypsy, "I've always had difficulty letting go of my ex-fiancé. Apparently Ken broke up with her over concern about the length of her prison sentence and the unwanted attention that came with being her fiancé, which devastated Gypsy. So now that she's out and free, is that no longer a concern?" Oh, by the way, it wasn't until 12 days before Gypsy was due to marry Ryan that she revealed to him that she had reached out to Ken a few weeks earlier. At the time, she was actually lying to him. She told him she hadn't talked with him for months, which, lying before getting married, not a good omen. Apparently the two worked through it at the time, and she assured him she didn't want to be with Ken anymore. Important words being at the time. How is that faring now? Well, the news cycle went bonkers last week when People magazine published a statement from Gypsy's private Facebook account that read, "Unfortunately, my husband and I are going through a separation, and I moved in with my parents' home down the bayou. I have the support of my family and friends to help guide me through this." As for the reason for the split, according to her, "I am learning to listen to my heart. Right now, I need time to let myself find who I am." Listening to her heart. Oh, bother girlie. Look, if I could just give some unsolicited advice. Take the time to fade into obscurity. Learn how to exist on your own in silence before looking for a partner or more fame. Unless this is all some massive manipulative ploy, and then, well, I have zero respect. Unless this is all some massive manipulative plot, and then I have zero respect for you. Zero. Alrighty folks, that's it from me. I've been Alexa, the resident emo girly, and if you could give this video some love to help us out, that would be the greatest. Cheers everybody!